Hey team, I'm going to show you how to import your motion capture. So let's reference in our rig. And I'm going to change the namespace to something a little shorter. So I'll just call it rig. And we want to open up our time editor, which is under animation editor's time editor. And change your composition to the mocap comp that came through in the referenced rig file. So this is where you'll drag and drop your FBX. So let me grab this one. And it's going to ask you to rename your namespace. So hit yes, we want to apply. And that'll put it on the mocap. And the last thing to do is to go into your human IK window and change your junior character to have a source of the mocap character. So there he is over there. There's our motion capture. Sweet. So let's bake this mocap onto our skeleton, onto our control rig. So in the human IK window, go down to bake to control rig. I'll reset the settings and bake. Okay, so now that animation's been baked onto him, so we don't need the time editor anymore. And so he's got a keyframe on every single frame, but we can still move his controls around. So to offset on top of these frames, we'll use an animation layer. So select all of your controls and add it to a new animation layer. And then this is where we'll create the offset. So we want to offset out in this frame, but we don't want to offset it throughout the entire shot. So let me find a good frame first. Like when his arm's hanging down, that looks like good. That's a good position. So I'll set a keyframe here. So we need to set an ending keyframe so that it goes back into its original position. So let's try and find a good spot. So that last frame looks great. So I'll set a keyframe there. And then between these two keyframes is where I'll put my offset. So I'll start the offset here. And I'll set another keyframe here to offset it again. And here he's actually hiding behind a box, so I'll just show you how to make it nice and still. We need to delete the keyframes that's making it all shaky. So that's in my base animation layer. So when it swings up, it'll go into position, and then I'll start deleting the keyframes. So I'm just shift drag selecting, and then he'll release right about here. So delete all the keyframes in between. So I'll have it snap into position. And now I'm just animating on this base animation layer. And then I want to copy this same keyframe over to the end so that it stays still. It looks like there's a bit of pull happening. So I'm actually going to raise the height of this up. And now his hand's nice and still in IK. So if we want to switch it back to FK after this, once he releases, we want to blend back to FK. So with my hand control selected, I'll keyframe the IK slider, translation and rotation, and then over time, we'll blend down to full FK, which is just 0, set another keyframe, and now I can control using my bones, my FK bones. And I want to add an offset, so I'll go back to my animation layer, my second layer. So I'll start the keyframe right here and swing it out. And I would recommend using the gimbal gizmo. It'll show you when you hit gimbal lock. Okay, so I'm trying to roll this around in FK mode, but it's not moving, and that's because I have my IK shoulder enabled, and that's locking it in place. So let me turn off my IK shoulder, and now I should be able to move this FK joint. And I just want to swing it out, really simple, in one axis, so that I'm not messing gimbal lock too much. So it goes from IK, he releases to FK, and we've got that offset as well. One other cool feature is if you grab the main control reference, find the pivot, I'll slide the pivot over. If you bring him down to the ground plane, his feet will hit the ground and stay locked to it, which is pretty fun. And other animation controls, you've got your face camera, basic functionality, and then the controls for the blink are in these green controllers here, so you got to select all four and slide the blink value, but you have control over each individual eyelid. Alright, that's all we got for now. Good luck, guys.